dumb happens when dumb eats dumb and pukes up dumb, and dumb is there on the floor being dumb.
Thank you, Ian. What up, virtual people? Welcome to the 123rd episode of VCR Redux, where we take your favorite franchises out of the analog era and bring them back to 2023. I'm your host, pop culture punk Chris Stiles, joined as always by my co-host with the most, film professor Ian Klink.
How you doing, everybody?
And we have two radical guests on the show tonight. First up, the third leg of our VCR tripod. Oh, Mickey, you're so fine. Mac Daddy Mickey Torres is back on the show.
What is up, everyone?
Okay.
And rounding out this righteous crew from Crash Romeo, Honey Red, and Best Around, Steve Anderson is back on the show.
Hi.
Thank you so much for coming back on, guys. We are here today to get Amish, to milk the bull, and to get at least a month's worth of free rent. That's right, folks. This world needs Kingpin 2 Amish Paradise, and we're here to give it to you. But before the VCR gets Munsoned out in the middle of nowhere, we got a dish on how Kingpin came into our lives.
See, this time it works. Saying Munsoned works.
Munsoned works.
This is a quote from the film. I can't help it.
It was well
and
done.
Of course, that goes for everyone watching in the live chat as well. Was it Love at First Laserdisc, Vital VHS? Hit us up in the chat and let us know how Kingpin came into your lives.
If you have Kingpin on Laserdisc, you better come into our chat, because I'm just curious. Was it on Laserdisc at all?
It must have been.
I think it was. I think
that's
impressive.
That's a quality laser title. But Steve, do you remember the first time you got Kingpin?
Oh, this would have been theaters for me, man. Because I mean, after Dumb and Dumber came out, you know, those Farrelly brothers were taking off. Like, this was what, the second of their releases. I would have been all over this. This is when comedies were great at this time.
I fully agree with you.
True words never been spoken.
So 100%. I would have definitely seen this in theaters.
So that we were in the same grade. I think that's 7th grade when this, maybe 6th or 7th.
96. This one?
Yes.
96.
But I think it was fall of 96. So it may have been. But we'll get into a little bit more of the mid 90s aspects of the film. Mickey, when did you first get Kingpin?
In the theaters on a date.
Date story for
fucking
a while.
dog.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah,
all right.
it was that time. It was that time. Yeah. So I was out of high school and everything. So it was.
They don't call him Mac Daddy Mickey Torres for nothing, folks. Breaking
I
hearts.
And it's funny because I'm not a fan of Dumb and Dumber.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. How
about
you never stop surprising me.
So I didn't get the whole Farrelly Brothers thing or whatever the case may be. Like, as far as that's not why I went to the movies. I went to this to see this because obviously Bill Murray.
Yeah.
That was number one, and then Woody Harrelson is great, and then Vanessa Angel. Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So wait, did you say you were out of high school in 96?
Hell yeah. I graduated in 94.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Wow, dude.
Yep.
He looks young.
You look great.
Youth, yeah.
You look great.
Again, he's still Mac Daddy Mickey Torres, folks.
Thanks.
Yeah.
All right. How did young Iowa Ian get Kingpin? What gas station pizza led you down this path?
I mean, wasn't this filmed in your neighborhood?
No.
Right.
But I honestly, the only thing that's popping in my head, I remember renting this from the Eldridge Public Library, but I think I'd already seen it on HBO, or this might have been Stars. Remember, did anybody have
early
Stars?
Yeah. Stars was
Stars.
This was a Stars heavy rotation item.
Stars doesn't get the credit for what it was back in the day. Stars actually had a lot of newer movies than before HBO did.
Well, I didn't have the Stars package.
Yeah,
that was on that Cinemax.
You had to have satellite.
Showtime package.
You had to be
it was on the Showtime.
Midwest.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. We had Stars. I think it came. If you bought HBO, you had Stars.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
See, for us on the East Coast, it was if you had HBO, you had Cinemax.
Yes.
It was Stars was with Showtime.
And we might have even gotten as like I probably believe we got it as like a free trial kind of thing. Stars. So I just remember watching this on cable, and I mean, just what isn't funny about this movie?
there's not a single part of this movie that isn't fucking hysterical.
And I didn't connect. I mean, I'll be honest, I didn't connect it with the Farrelly brothers. Like that to me didn't really hit until there was something about Mary, where I was kind of knowing what they were. I mean, I knew Dumb and Dumber, I knew Kingpin, but they were just movies to me. It wasn't like following it. Comedy directors, I never really connected the dots a lot. That didn't really come until I really got older into more film theory and realizing.
I hate to say this, but I really fell for that marketing gimmick that from the guys who made Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
You know, I think
well,
that was one of the selling points of this movie.
I might have caught that, but I mean, it wasn't until later on I realized, you know, there is a John Landis, there is the Farrelly brothers, there is Peter Siegel, there are directors just for comedy.
Mhm.
You know, that didn't register in my head until years later, but I do remember then going years later and finding it. It was one of those like it played, but then I never saw it for a couple of years. And then all of a sudden I was at the library one day and there's Kingpin. And I was like, oh, I remember that. Here, let me rent this. And then it was like, that's when I really got into it. That would be, I'd rent it, you know, a couple times a year just to watch this movie. It's hilarious.
Library, movie renting, gas station, pizza eating.
Hey, the library, I don't care what anybody says. The library system is what made me a filmmaker. So,
is there really an ocelot or however you say it, Iowa?
Is it what?
Is there Ocelot, Iowa? Is there really such a place?
I don't know if there is or not, but
probably.
Is that where the Amish stuff is supposed to be?
That's where
that's Pennsylvania.
That's where Munson's from.
Yeah. Oh, I thought it was Pennsylvania. Oh, yeah.
No, he moved.
He got his hand clawed.
17 years later is 17 years later is when he ended up in Scranton, PA.
Yeah. But
right.
But he grew up.
All their movies are, you know,
he got Munson.
Again,
he was in Iowa.
Yeah,
I feel like it's such a trademark of all their movies. They have to be like Northeast, usually Rhode Island or near Rhode Island.
That's pretty typical of most directors, though, where they'll kind of. You know what I will say?
John Hughes thing, like all his movies are the Chicago suburbs.
You write what you know.
You
write about what you know in the area that you know.
I will say this though, for them, while we're on topic, real quick though, is that I think it's kind of amazing, especially these guys coming out of the gate. A lot of directors find certain actors that click and mesh, and then they want to use them in everything. And these guys came out of the gate with 3 of like the best comedies ever, all completely different casting. With like, you know, nothing, no, like, there's really, you wouldn't even necessarily be able to tell that these 3 movies were directed by the same comedy directors, except for how good
this is the only movie I like from them.
Really? The only one ever?
Yeah,
I could see
myself and Irene.
No,
this is better.
That's okay.
This is leagues better than. I mean, like I like Me, Myself, and Irene. It's fine. You know, it's a pretty good movie, but this is like leagues above that.
Yeah.
Oh man, I probably have to sit with Me, Myself, and Irene more than I probably would with Kingpin or Dumb and Dumber. I mean, Dumb and Dumber hit right. I mean, I think there is that Jim Carrey, you know, saga in all of our childhoods. Sure, I mean, like it was Jim Carrey. You went to go. I mean, you rented it. If you watched The Mask, you watched Dumb and Dumber, you watched Ace Ventura. I mean, those.
We all rented Once Bitten. Once they put it out, with like
shut up! Nobody watched Once Bitten unless you
watch fuck you.
I watch it every Halloween.
Shut up, you narb!
Every
sunglasses
Halloween,
you trucker.
People,
you didn't watch Once Bitten until it was on USA Up All Night, and you know it. Don't lie to me.
People went back and they pushed Jim Carrey movies after Ace Ventura came out.
Oh, like Rubberface?
Yes.
And like
what was the other one?
Like
the Duck Factory?
That was another one that got the big push.
They pushed those old Jim Carrey movies once Ace Ventura hit so big. All of a sudden he was on the box art and like he was they were like
all of a sudden you can get Once Bitten for $9.99 on VHS at you know, Osco drugstore at like the end cap. They're just pushing it because it's Jim Carrey.
Or was it like Cooper Mountain or something like that, where he's like guy.
The Copper Mountain, I think.
Mountain.
This may show my age, but like, you know, what made me a Jim Carrey fan? Like I loved Once Bitten and stuff like that, and Ace Ventura. Like I still to this day I've not watched Dumb and Dumber all the way through, but because I just don't like it. But in any event, like it was Jim Carrey. Quoting basically he wanted to do like a remake of Mr. Ghost and Mr. Chicken, and then Ghost and Mr. Chicken is Don Knotts, Tim Conway, like, you know, it's
really Oh wow.
It's such a great movie, and I remember watching it when I was a kid and stuff like that. And
He
I
wanted
used
to he wanted to remake it.
Well, are there
Yeah.
so many ghosts?
I was
here?
such a Don Knotts fan.
There's a lot of ghosts here.
from Scooby Doo and everything like that. Like I loved Don Knotts and Tim Conway. I just loved them. I loved
Oh,
the
yeah, like the Private Eyes.
Yeah, the Carol Burnett show kind of deal. Yeah.
Gosh.
Oh, I love Don Knotts. Don Knotts is great. So I'll get to my first time getting Kingpin in a sec. I do want to check with the live chat.
That sounds awful. Like
It
that
does
sentence
sound
in
bad,
itself
man.
is like
Yeah.
somebody just reached out with a hug to you from how you.
No,
I'm
tell you
picking
the first time I got
titles just to
Kingpin.
make it worse every week.
it sounds like
But-
an interesting form of pegging, is what it sounds like. getting
Oh,
Kingpin.
my God.
What?
But-
Oh,
Oh, we got our first
it's
cancellation.
Munson.
Oh.
Yeah.
Munson.
Munson. That's right, Munson. That's
Munson, not Kingpin. Munson.
Some people get Kingpin, some people get Munson. Some people
Hey,
eat their pizzeria
What's
from
the difference? $5.
Yeah, well, some people eat gas station pizza, and some people, live on oxygen.
I do
Miyagi
both.
Do forever. I do see in the live chat Miyagi Do forever. Angie Saunders, Mikey Riffraff, Alex Bonafonte, Louis Wagner, Oscar Toronzo, Monica Thyman, Antonio Zapata, Dustin Nino, and Meg Klink, all in the live chat. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. I'll try and keep the gas station pizza jokes to a minimum tonight.
Oh yeah, my mare's in there. Don't mess with her.
She's gonna give me a flurry of
I-
snaps one of these days.
I want to see if I can get one of these gas station pizza like mailed to me.
That's the
Like
only way you could
frozen-
have made it worse.
Hey, I'm
Frozen,
telling you,
and I can just
come- come and go
microwave it,
pizza.
or
the best
oven it,
breakfast
put it
pizza
on.
you'll ever have.
Yeah,
Best
I got it.
breakfast
I got to
pizza.
go.
That's
Is it
wild.
still around? Is it still around?
Oh, come and go pizza. Oh heck yeah. West
We should
Branch,
take a
Iowa.
road trip. Yeah, we should
So
go.
We may have to.
Interestingly enough, there's a little bit of a culinary conversation in the live chat. Alex Bonafonte says he saw it in theaters with friends, and he says he thinks it was in the era of in-theater Taco Bell. Hashtag bring back the Cholito.
Wow.
So I'm
There's a
curious
Taco
about
Bell
what
in
the
a
Cholito
theater?
was.
Was
But
that a
yeah,
thing?
that sounds like it was a thing. Like he
That should
says
be
it,
a
and it
thing.
just feels
If it
right.
wasn't, it should be.
But what
Yeah.
area? Ask him what area he's from.
Yeah.
Well, Oscar, if you're still tuned in, let us know where Taco Bell in theaters was in the world, because that's where I want to be. Dustin Yu says this was definitely a rental at my local store. I was so bummed when my sister's BF, who's from Iowa, informed me there was, in fact, no Ocelot, Iowa.
See,
There we go.
There you go.
Monica
But
Times
I wonder what they use as Ocelot, Iowa.
Oh, probably PA.
Probably.
I mean,
Probably,
probably
yeah.
another time.
Scranton.
It
Rhode
all,
Island.
it all looks
Probably
the same. It's just,
Scranton, you know.
It's probably all Rhode Island. But Monica Thyman says, I saw the movie on video for the first time. It was very funny. Could not agree more. So my first time getting Kingpin, it was also on video. I honestly don't remember if it was a rental or a cable. I feel like it had to be a rental. This must have been, because I remember my parents used to drag me to Wisconsin all the time when I was a kid, and you just go up there and you get stuck there and you're like cut off from the world. There's like, there's usually no TV and like no whatever, and you just feel like you're living in Amish country, right? And I got back one time, and this is probably when you saw it in theaters, Steve. I got back from Wisconsin, and I was there for like a week. It was winter break, I think, and there was an invitation that had come in the mail that I had missed this birthday party while I was away, and it was our buddy Phil Kalis's. Shout out to Phil Kalis, whoever he is. His birthday party, and it was to go see Kingpin, and I was like,
You know what?
double.
I probably went to that. Yeah.
That's
That's
probably
why I
when
saw it.
you saw it for the first time, and it should have been my first time, and I'm still bitter about it to this day. But I did love this movie. It popped with me a little bit later as well. Like, I really enjoyed it a lot at first. I loved every comedy I could get my hands on when I was in like 6th and 7th grade. So when I first got it as a rental, I think, it was like, all right, that's really, really good. But then later watching it on cable, I was like, this is phenomenal. Like, I didn't even appreciate, like, I can't believe this is Bill Murray. Like how did they get him to do this? Like, how did they get
I
him
don't
to
think
play a
they know
villain?
how they
And,
got Bill Murray to do it.
I don't
That's
think anyone ever knows.
Anybody
how
ever
they
know-
got
yeah.
Bill Murray. Yeah.
I
do
really
anything.
wish
Guy
like
just randomly shows up. He'll say, yeah, maybe I'll do it. And then if he shows up on that day, like
I want to
he'll-
see his ad libs. Like I want to know like what was ad libbed. I mean, he knew
Almost,
Apparently
almost this
everything.
entire,
everything.
almost this entire performance was apparently just all him.
Oh,
on the spot,
genius,
and
such
he's
genius.
so fucking funny in this. He's so ridiculous.
That hair is epic, though.
The
Oh my
hair is
God,
wicked,
no.
but the
Oh, man.
the hair between him and Woody Harrelson too. It's like, especially when they're bowling, it's crazy, and it's literally like, man, like you wouldn't have thought, like you would thought, like maybe like just buy a toupee or something like that, or whatever the case may be. At that,
Oh, Woody
at that
No,
Harrelson.
that's the
he
point. But
shaved
that's
his-
Chris
yeah.
Elliott had one. Chris Elliott
Yeah.
had one on.
He
Yeah,
shaved
but
his
that's-
head and let that grow out. Woody
Yeah.
Harrelson did at least.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
will
yeah.
pay you $1
Did.
million
Yeah.
to sleep with your friend.
Oh my God.
I don't
That is the
remember-
one thing. That is the one guy you said completely separate cast. Steve, Chris Elliott is in this, and
Yep.
There's Something About Mary. He is the
That's
one.
right. There you
Yeah.
go. That's
thing
the
who's
one.
in,
And
and of course that one guy who's like the bartender in Dumb and Dumber, and he's the millionaire Vanessa Angel's, abusive
right, right.
boyfriend or whatever.
Stan.
Stan, yeah.
Stan.
I
Oh
am going
my
to
God.
say something
He's a great actor.
controversial on this show.
All
Say
right.
it.
Vanessa Angel
Mhm.
is the only Lisa from Weird
Oh,
Science.
for Weird
Oh.
Science. Well,
Controversial and
from the
off
sitcom.
topic.
From the sitcom.
Yes,
Weird
I
Science.
loved Weird Science, the TV show.
Mm.
I watched the TV show before I saw the movie. So
Well,
when I
that's
watched
why.
the movie, I was actually mad because I liked that Wyatt and Gary, and I loved Vanessa Angel's Lisa. That was my Weird Science cast.
Weird.
You know,
What a weird
some people,
thing you just said.
some people, fart when there's no one in the room, or they go in a quiet corner and no one notices. Ian jumps up on the desk in the center of the room, rips a fart like that, and says, "Yeah, I did it. Feel it."
What
That's
of
what
it?
just
I
happened.
have not hidden how I am. Like, there was a treasure trove, and this world did not deserve USA in 1995. They did not deserve that channel. We were scum and not worthy to follow and watch that channel, and how great it was.
All right, I can sanction that. I definitely agree.
Silk
And I do love the Weird
Stockings,
Science
Weird
TV show.
Science.
And I'm not trying to throw shade at Vanessa Angel, but I just have to give respect where it's
Kelly
due.
LeBrock. Kelly
That's
LeBrock.
like what you just said is like saying what's his name from Jackie Earl Haley is the only Freddy
better,
Krueger.
yeah.
Like, come on.
No,
like, get
no,
the fuck
no,
out of
no,
here.
no,
And
no,
even
no.
Michael Anthony Hall too. Come on.
Anthony Michael.
Just
Hall.
saying,
Anthony
I
Michael.
love
Yeah.
the TV show.
I love that version
She
though, that
cracked
Anthony
me
Michael Hall would
up.
be a Breakfast Clubber and playing Van Halen.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm just saying,
Anthony
Vanessa
Hall.
Angel had
Well,
fun
didn't he
on that
switch his
show,
name
and I
for a
loved
while
it.
there? He had him both. Like
What?
he said, he had.
You would have
switched.
thought. You would have thought after a role like this, she would have. I don't know. I mean, not that this. I don't feel like this movie didn't hit the same as Dumb and Dumber did, or something about Mary did.
didn't.
No, it didn't. Right?
Yeah,
But
it
this
wasn't,
is
it
a
wasn't
shame.
as
It's a
it wasn't
shame.
as popular as that.
This
so.
movie is also like, on rewatch, I'm sitting there going like, it's very reminiscent of like a Naked Gun or a Hot Shots.
Yeah, I mean they
whatever
definitely
that.
love Mel Brooks and the Zucker brothers and
Yeah.
like all those guys.
The
for sure.
jokes for me are just hits constantly. There is a constant, like every 5 seconds or whatever, there's a phenomenal drop in of something hysterical in this movie.
I mean,
it's
remember when Randy Quaid was a thing?
Oh,
yeah,
he's-
man.
yeah.
He had a run. He had a real
This-
run.
Oh, like
This was-
this is a whole. I would do a whole episode just talking about like the unlikely movie star rises of the '90s. Like Rick Moranis got huge for a minute. Jeff Goldblum got
Yep.
huge for a minute. John Goodman was huge for a minute. Like there were people that like had these runs in the '90s that like.
Do you know who they initially had in mind for this role, for Randy Quaid's role in this? I just found out
No.
today. I was doing a little research on this.
Mm.
Of course, Chris Farrelly.
Oh,
Ah.
that
Yeah.
would have been everything as well.
That would have been
Wow.
really
But you know
interesting.
something? I gotta say,
I probably wouldn't have
Randy
liked it
Quaid,
as much.
Randy
Yeah, I
Quaid-
agree. I agree. He
Randy
kills
Quaid
it.
in this is like Jeff Daniels in Dumb and Dumber. Like
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
had no
yeah.
idea it
I
would
want
be
to
so
go
good.
to Reno.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So good.
incredible. I
He's
mean,
so
you know,
good in this.
Cousin Eddie, a lot of people obviously, knew he could do comedy,
Oh, yeah.
but this is a whole completely different thing. I
Oh
mean,
my God, when
but
when he's picking out his teeth and it's just flinging like chunks
Oh.
of meat onto the mirror.
Him being
those
the,
are-
him being the dancer at that go-go, the
Oh,
strip club,
yeah.
like,
see, to me, I like I don't know what you would call it, but like the character jokes, if you will, where it's more like he tells Ishmael, we got to go. There's a, plant breakdown. There's a giant cloud of shit coming. And he's like, watch out. Run for your lives, everyone. There's a giant cloud of shit coming.
There's a
I
shit
think I
cloud
can start
coming.
to smell it. Like,
every time,
like you play into the gullibility of
every
the
time he
character.
convinces him that something's fine, every time where he's like, that is against my religion. Like that is he's like, coffee's a stimulant or whatever. He's like, it is
also like a thing. Like I kind of like lost track when he breaks his hand. I'm like, it's his left hand. He bowls right, does he not?
Is that
He
right?
bowls left-handed.
Yeah.
He bowls left-handed. I think.
No, that's a joke throughout the whole thing.
Ah.
Yeah.
Some softpaw kind of shit. Or southpaw, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
So I'll say something controversial.
Okay.
I will say something controversial. I think this is Bill Murray's best work. I really do.
You're a scumbag. You really are just
what is it, like Lost in Translation or something? Wes Anderson.
Ghostbusters. Flat out Ghostbusters. You can't get any better.
That's a great movie, but that's not necessarily his best work.
I kind of think What About Bob is like one of his best.
That's a great movie.
Now, now I would say the opposite. I'm not a huge fan of that movie. It's good. I liked it, but he is fantastic in it. But I'm telling you, and I love Groundhog Day. That's probably a better movie than Kingpin, or more of a film than Kingpin. But
I get what you're saying about
elevates this material.
Yeah.
He throws himself out there. He completely owns this role. He is he's one of my top 5 villains, I think, in this. He's a phenomenal villain.
The funniest that he's been consistently in anything. Maybe it's not the best he's been in, whatever, the best movie he's been in, but as far as like downright comedic genius, like every line in this movie, every little thing he does in this movie is so fucking funny.
If Ern McCracken was played by almost anyone else, the movie probably wouldn't be 1/10 as good. Like, I'm serious. He really elevates this movie. And like, no disrespect to everyone's you have fucking Woody Harrelson and Randy Quaid. These guys are like real actors. They're thespians.
I didn't know that Woody Harrelson could be comedic like this. Like, I mean, like Cheers. Cheers was playing.
He was dumb.
Yeah,
he was just dumb in Cheers.
So that was where the comedy came from.
Yeah.
But this was actually like comedy, and it wasn't like he wasn't trying to be funny, but like how he played it, and it was just.
What was this off the back of? Like Natural Born Killers? He done.
White Men Can't Jump.
White Men Can't Jump. I guess that's a little comedic, yeah, but like not like this. This is just like fall down fucking funny. Like he's yeah.
I mean, it really was always just. I mean, anybody in Cheers really got that. You got an instant ticket to go into a movie.
Yeah, but Woody Harrelson, unlike anybody else from Cheers that I can think of off the top of my head, maybe with the exception of Chris Stiles, but is the only one that really was successful in movies.
Certainly was the most successful.
And this way too. Again, like another unlikely 90s rise, right? And he's in between doing an Oliver Stone movie and doing a Milos Forman film, People versus Larry Flint, which is a really severely criminally underrated biopic.
Such a great movie.
That is that is definitely one of my top 5 biopics.
Great movie, great movie.
Fantastic, yeah. I mean, Milos Forman is just incredible. But again, what are the ingredients of a great villain? And everything you put on the list, Bill Murray crushes in this. Like, again, if it's anyone else playing this role, it's not nearly as good. The movie's not nearly as good. Like, you love to hate Bill Murray in this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And he's like, there's no vanity in it. Like, he's sleazy, he's dirty, he's like gropey. He's got that.
It's bowling.
Never-ending fucking comb.
Every little
bowling.
That's a big part of it too.
It's everything you thought about like the old guys. I mean, like I was around during the time when bowling was really popular, and like the old guys at the bowling alley and stuff like that. It was like, that's Bill Murray. Like it's like
bowling was a thing in the 80s and 90s.
Oh, I remember my parents were in like a league.
My mom listening in, she was on a bowling league. So
my mom was like endless cigarette smoking and like draft beer pitchers.
If you didn't own your own ball, then like you weren't a serious bowler.
Yeah, my mom was a serious bowler too. Weirdly enough.
Oh yeah, your mom was like a champion bowler.
Yeah, she was like not only like in a league, but they won some kind of state champion thing, and they went on to she toured around for a little bit with them.
Oh
Wow.
Yeah. She did it.
Hardcore.
Yeah. My dad would never play with us. He'd never go to the thing because he couldn't stand how badly she would beat him at this one thing. So he was just like, no, he had no interest in going.
There's no such thing as bowling for fun.
No. There's no such thing as doing anything for fun.
You know what though? There's a couple of like, I'm not an athletic person. I'm not coordinated, but there's a couple of sports that like I just envy. I love basketball. There's poetry in it. I love volleyball, beach volleyball particularly. Just like the lifestyle of it. You're always tan. You're like keeping in shape. You know. Yeah, you're just on the beach, right? And bowling is one of those things that like professional pool players, professional card players, I know that's not really athletic, but like bowling is like on the cusp, right? I wasn't any good at that either, but just like thinking about it, like touring and like, it would be so cool. I just always envy.
Well, you got to admit, this movie is, I mean, I do believe every sport, there's a movie for that sport. All right. Running, it's Chariots of Fire. Boxing, it's either Rocky or Raging Bull. I'm gonna go with Rocky, right? Billiards, it's Color of Money.
Gymnast,
Poker.
It's American Anthem or whatever.
Okay, all right. Not to get too far
Bicyclist,
off topic.
American Anthem.
What's your basketball movie? What's the basketball movie?
Hoosiers.
Yeah, Hoosiers.
See, I don't know, man. I'm not of that like Hoosiers is it for me school.
So what would it be?
I'm certainly not like gonna say Blue Chips just for 90s nostalgia or Space Jam or anything like that. He got games really good, but again, it's not really like a basketball movie.
That's more of a
even though it stars a basketball player.
Yeah,
White Man Can't Jump.
White Man Can't Jump is maybe probably it actually. The best basketball movie, maybe.
I mean, it's not.
But what other bowling movie is there?
Right.
Oh, there's Greedy with Michael J. Fox. I love that.
Yeah, Greedy's not really.
I know. It's not a bowling. I know. He just like is.
Although, why are we not doing that movie on the show? Greedy is like the best '90s comedy that you all don't freaking know.
Yeah, that's
people in the chat.
One.
If you would watch a Greedy episode, let us know in the live chat, please, because I would love to do it.
I don't even care what you all think.
We probably could have done them both.
Episode.
We could have probably.
I would love to do
Greedy
a
and
whole
Kingpin
month
together.
We should do a whole month of Michael J. Fox, like Michael J. March or something. And March, just do all Michael J. Fox movies.
It'd be Michael J. February, not March. What's wrong with you?
All right, well, that
we gotta do the shortest month of the year.
Oh.
but like I mean, like he doesn't have. He also doesn't have many movies outside of Back to the Future. You know, like he's got 3 of his movies are Back to the Future.
You know what's weird?
In high school,
we already did Back to the Future.
We're doing that.
So you do Casualties of War 2. No.
Oh no. God.
You know what?
The American
Light of Day. Oh, we can finally do Light of Day. Oh, that would be great.
Oh, fuck.
I love that movie.
Actually,
I love that movie.
Bro, I would
Which one's
love
Light
to
of
do a
Day?
Light of Day episode.
Light
with
of
Joan
Day.
Jett, Michael J.
Joan
Fox.
Jett.
You sick communist.
I
And he's
have
a
not seen that
bar.
one.
How have you
band
not
with
seen
it.
this movie?
Oh,
I haven't seen it
It's a
either.
Because I watch
Vestron
good
classic.
movies.
Yeah,
Steve,
I
you've
don't
never
know.
seen Light of Day?
No, I don't think
I've
so.
never seen that. I've never heard
As
of
a
that one.
musician,
Lights.
you gotta see Light of Day.
Bright Lights,
Really?
Big City.
All right.
Yeah.
Bright
All
Lights, Big City 2, Electric Boogaloo. We could do 2 months of J. Fox, the American president. There's
Secret to
Plenty
My
Life with
Success.
Mikey. Which was begging for the sequel that we deserved in 1989 and didn't get.
Yep.
You're gonna have to do. You're gonna have to.
Oh,
do that,
Doc
Chris.
Hollywood.
You're gonna.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
Oh, beautiful film.
You're gonna have to do
Love it.
Mars Attacks then. That's just all there is
Get
to
out of
it.
here. You get right out of here.
And I will be on that episode.
Oh, God, I've
But
never
no,
been so
I mean,
tempted to take a week off.
I mean, we're talking about Kingpin, but like, yeah.
Oh, we are. That's right.
Stick that mental note, like Michael J. Fox.
But this
February
is,
or
but
something.
to me, this is like the bowling movie. Like if
Yes.
you're a bowling fan,
Quintessential
you watch
bowling
Kingpin.
movie. Yeah.
For sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
You get the
sorry.
vibe of it all and everything else like that.
I mean, it's
just
also
like-
it's a sports movie. It's also a road trip movie, which is always fun.
it is a great road movie.
It is a great
Yeah.
road movie.
The Farrellys love a road movie.
Yeah,
They
Dumb
really
and
do.
Dumber's a road movie.
They even did Green
Me,
Book.
Myself,
They
and
did
Irene's
Green
a road
Book.
movie.
I mean, that's a road movie. They're all about.
Oh
going
my
on the
God,
road.
you're so right. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Dumb
They just
Dumb
took
and
the
Dumber's
jokes
a
out of
road
one of the road
movie.
movies, and we're
But
like,
Something About Mary isn't a road movie, right?
No, it's
That's
not,
like the only
no.
one that's not. but the rest of them-
he does go from one place to another to Delaware.
Yeah,
It's
but-
like it's a fish out of water movie, which is kind of like adjacent. It's like in the same neighborhood, the same cul-de-sac.
Me, Myself, and Irene is kind of in a road movie.
Oh, it is.
Oh,
a
it's
road
100%
movie.
a road
Yeah,
movie.
yeah, they're all road
100%.
movies.
Stuck
yeah.
on You is a road movie. A couple of their
yeah.
other like forgettable movies are road movies too.
Yeah.
What's that one with Chris Klein? That's a fucking road movie. Say It Ain't So.
Yeah.
That's a fucking road movie.
Also talking about this movie, and spoiler alert for people that haven't watched this movie, but like I'm just saying, like the end was literally like so like it was the first time that I can remember that the good dude doesn't win.
But he wins like in the right way.
I do get.
He wins in life.
Yes.
But like I really I thought like, oh, he's gonna win this tournament. Like I literally like I wanted him to beat fucking Big Earn.
Yeah, but
that's what Kingpin 2 is for.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's also
he's gotta have his redemption. He's gotta.
That's not what this
redemption.
movie's about, though. This movie's not about that. Like his redemption is all about him learning to not live like a scumbag anymore.
He didn't have to quit bowling. Like he literally could have like what he did, like at the tournament. He could have done all his life.
Yeah, and that's what I think he realizes at the end. That's what's so important about.
Yeah, he wasted 17 years of his life.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but you know, but he found a new family in Vanessa Angel and Ishmael.
But I guarantee you that in my sequel he gets a fucking prosthetic, like a full on like prosthetic hand, like no rubber,
like a Luke Skywalker shit.
Something.
Take a look at this
Star Wars guy. Yeah.
What is that? It's 14 karat gold. It looks like rubber.
Like he gets like a Thanos hand or something like that.
Fucking Roy holding the Infinity
There's so
Gauntlet.
many good lines in this, man. Can you drink your own piss?
Is it bad to drink?
It's bad to drink your own piss. I think it is, even if it's your own.
I mean, it took me years. I didn't get it until one day you watch it and you're like, you get it, but it's like, we don't have a cow.
We have
a bull. I think this might be the first movie to do that joke. We've seen it 100 times since. Yeah. And not only did they, was it the first probably, but it was done the best.
Or taking the shoes off the horse.
Oh yeah.
Like, it took me a while, but shoo, once I got it.
I don't know how things are done in Iowa, but here in Pennsylvania, we don't run for the dinner bell in the middle of a barn raising or a 2-ton wall.
2,000 when we're lifting up a
2,000
pound wall.
Sorry.
Well, my thought is like, that's bullshit, man. Like one person is gonna literally drop that whole fucking thing.
No.
Well, it is pitch time, and there are some in the live chat. So just catch up on a few things. Backing up my point from before, Alex Bonafonte says Ian farted in my elevator. So I actually believe that. He also says Kelly LeBrock is still Silver King hot, to which I totally agree.
I'm not disagreeing. She's my Lisa. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's just how you came into
explains so
the
much
world.
about you.
Whatever.
I love Andy Saunders says I love Bill in Zombieland. Miyagi Do Forever says I love Groundhog Day. Alex Bonafonte kind of doubles down on that, says he proves he's a great villain in Kingpin, but Groundhog Day is Bill's magnum opus. And he also says bowling alleys were the last places you could smoke indoors aside from bars. Now it's all neon lights and family friendly, blah blah blah. Screw your healthy lungs. Well, I guess bring on the cosmic bowling pitches for Kingpin 2. That
is a weird. We do all remember a world where you could just walk into a bowling. It just smelled like
Alex Bonafonte has a point. The Big Lebowski might be the bowling movie.
You know what? Alex,
just because
you're
it's
right.
so
Alex is right. I'm sorry.
Sometimes there can be two. It's not like Highlander.
Not for me.
Two bowling movies.
Not for me. Kingpin is the bowling movie.
Yeah,
there's three.
But what
there's three boxing movies anyways, because you're right, it's Rocky and Raging Bull, but it's obviously also Teen Wolf 2. There's plenty of boxing movies to go around.
Well, that might be the best.
Who do you want to be today?
Who do you want to be today?
There is Ali too.
Nah.
Well, there's your basketball movie, Chris. Teen Wolf 1. That's obviously the quintessential.
Obviously, I mean, we all know that. I was just gonna let you say it.
But
Airbud. Well, there's nothing that says that a dog can't play on the basketball team, even a half dog, half human.
Teen Wolf versus Airbud. My money's on Teen Wolf. I just gotta say, I don't think Airbud has the knowledge of the fundamentals.
That's like saying Teen Wolf is the theater movie because he was.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
So there are pitches. There are pitches here, and even Dustin Nino has a pitch to keep Goldie's streak alive. So Dustin's pitch: a bowling tournament takes the entire Kingpin crew to Ohio. They meet a crew of rollerbladers named Mitchell, Snake, and the Wily Man who have to compete in each other's sport. I love the Airborne Streak Will Never Die. Soundtrack by Dokken. So what we have here is we have Mitchell, Snake, and the Wily Man having to bowl, and we have Ishmael, Roy, and Vanessa Angel all having to skate, having to grind the Devil's Backbone. This is perfect. I love it. When did you get
the band at the end of the Kingpin, by the way?
What's that?
Who's the band at the end of the movie?
Is that the band that was in like a bunch of the Farrelly Brothers movies?
Oh yeah. Is it the one that's, why you want to give me the run around the harmonic?
Blues Travelers.
That's all. Every time they come on the radio, all I can think of is Kingpin.
Yeah, this movie had a good soundtrack.
Oh, their first couple soundtracks were fire. Like this soundtrack and the Dumb and Dumber soundtrack.
Dumb and Dumber one, was really good too.
Yeah, they have for comedy directors, they have really good needle drops. But so
I wouldn't agree, but you
all right. Here's the thing.
Comedy?
No, I'm just saying.
You can't do this. You can't do it with Randy Quaid.
Really?
You can't do it.
Why?
Right, he's not accessible anymore, right?
He's not accessible. It just won't work.
He just did a fucking panel on this channel as Cousin Eddie. I don't know how he's not accessible.
Really?
Yeah.
Will the public accept him now? That's the issue.
I don't think he didn't do anything that's so egregious that
I think he like trashed hotel rooms and like
he just did. I think he wasn't paying his tabs and just disappearing.
Yeah.
Shit.
I think people would, if people would be willing to have Bill Murray, given the story, the recent story, recent stories that are coming around, that basically his character here is how he is in real life.
This is true too.
Yeah, I mean, like,
well, what are they gonna do? I mean, not to get off topic again, but like, what are they gonna do in the next Ghostbusters movie? Then are they gonna like not have Bill Murray in that because of everything that's happening?
I have no clue, but you know, it is what it is. I mean, that's the topic for somebody else to discuss. But
that's certainly not. You know,
this is a topic for better people of this world, and
I feel
it's waiting for its day in the court of public opinion.
I want the full redemption. I want my Kingpin 2 to have Woody Harrelson and Vanessa Angel going back to Reno, to going back to Las Vegas to get married. And scumbag Big Earn is still running things, and there's another tournament, and they run into him, and it's like, we're gonna take you down, and he gets his redemption again. In the interim, maybe like I want Randy Quaid back, so like in the interim,
you need him back, yeah.
Maybe like he has left the Amish world, and they find him in Las Vegas. Obviously, Woody Harrelson is going to want him to be his best man for his wedding.
I like that a lot.
Really good. That does kind of work. I will say this though: if you didn't have Bill Murray, one actor that I just absolutely love his career, I love Bill Hader. Bill Hader could do any role. Yeah. If you gave Bill Hader like free reign to come up with a character,
I mean, you can have Big Earn's kid.
I was gonna say
him and Downey are your go-tos, and now because I let the cat out of the bag with that, I would actually be really interested to see how Robert Downey Jr. would play a Big Earn type of role.
That's what I'm talking about.
Sure, I don't know if he has to play Big Earn. He could be one of the.
He would crush it. He could be one of the. He would improv it just as much as.
Oh yeah, but I would like him as like maybe he's Big Earn's kid. Maybe he's a lackey. Maybe he's just like a lackey of Big Earn, and it's Bill Murray and Robert Downey Jr. together.
Would this be a Will Ferrell?
I mean, I love.
I think Ferrell, we've seen that film so many times
Will
now.
Ferrell is the Bill Murray of the younger group of SNL, I guess. I mean, we have seen like the Blades of Glory.
Yeah,
Will Ferrell.
Well, with him kind of playing these,
like I mean, I don't know.
Talladega Nights, these like asshole roles of his, I
don't know if any of you guys just watched Winning Time, the Lakers show that was on HBO that had John C. Reilly playing Jerry Buss.
I've been meaning to, but I have
his
not.
best work. That's the kind of stuff
John C. Reilly.
He's
could be.
perfect. I mean, it's the role
John
he's
C.
born to
Riley
play.
could be a good villain. Yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
He does good
but
at comedy.
he would be
he's
so
awesome in
much
everything.
like. I think he would be so much like Bill Murray that it would be. You just constantly be comparing. You know, I think Downey would actually bring something really new to being like a new villain. If you had a new villain,
yeah, he would be a totally different kind of funny and a totally
he would be
different kind of
hilarious. No
comedic
doubt.
presence. It's very different. But
he would leave a very distinct signature on the role. A very specific mark.
This could be interesting. Like, because obviously it would for me it would be like you can't do it without Woody Harrelson.
No,
so what would be interesting if there's a redemption story, and if you had Randy Quaid, like you were talking about, where he's in Vegas, Randy Quaid is now the Yoda, and so it's now the master needs to be taught by the student who's now the master.
I don't know if Randy Quaid, if you could, I don't know how he is now, but like if you could get him to follow through on like an entire movie, but maybe he might have an Amish son.
I think it would be great.
And like his Amish son, like the fish out of water concept of like him having a son.
Oh yeah, that would have to go away. I mean, the Amish thing would probably have to,
Yeah, so he's not. Here's the thing. I think
it'd be great if it's. Sorry, I was just saying, but if it's like Randy Quaid is now with his long beard, kind of weird hair, face tattoos, like chain smoking, like it's like he did leave the Amish country, but now there's some really funny crap where, what's his name in the movie?
Ishmael.
Yeah. He, I mean, turns around at a bowling alley. It's like, I need the master. Turns around. Call me Ishmael.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
Great.
Right.
But also, I would love like a scene where like they go to like they're practicing, maybe they're gonna do a hustle, whatever the case may be, and they go to like a new bowling alley. I mean, like what new bowling alleys today are. They're basically like just
cosmic bowling and
bars that happen to have bowling there, and overpriced food and everything else like that.
See, again, why it would have been so great if they had done this in like 98 or 99. And even then, like Downey could have been so good as like the most cosmic bowling, Roxbury, shiny shirt, red leather pants guy ever. The guy who's like thinks he's who treats bowling like a rave every night.
This movie has a lot. Weirdly enough, has a
Ben
lot.
Stiller. Ben Stiller could be in something like that too.
He could. Yeah, he could do something like this.
Oh, Ben Stiller. That could be it. Yeah.
That would be interesting. Yeah, we're getting very Tropic Thunder.
But like, you can have all these guys. It would be awesome if you had like a Ben Stiller, if you had Robert Downey Jr. and they were different bowlers.
Right.
Bring at a younger point, also Jack Black again to just fully Tropic Thunder.
Big Earn gets like let's do the punch out theory, the Mike Tyson's punch out theory. Like you have to bowl all these guys. Big Earn has gotten a pass. He's the returning champion. So it's almost like
but they're all sons of Big Earn.
It's almost Daniel LaRusso, like in the second year.
Try to get 3.
Yeah, he doesn't have to like
the winning champion only has to fight in the final match.
Yeah,
Mickey,
exactly.
I really like the idea of bringing on like an onslaught of like character actor villains. Yeah, like a bunch of different these are the top guys, and you're following kind of all of them.
Oh, that would
whatever.
That would be great.
And then you could have all these. You could have Robert Downey Jr. You could have
they're all making their way. If they're all making their way, and like maybe like like I said, like Woody Harrelson and Vanessa Angel are watching TV or some shit like that, and they see that this bowling tournament, whatever the case may be, and they're like, Big Earn is like gonna be Ernie McCracken, whatever like that's gonna be the returning champion, and he's defending his title, whatever the case may be, and you can get in this tournament and go up against him, whatever case may be, and they decide like, let's go. We wanted to get married. Let's go to Vegas. Let's get married, and let me finally take this guy out.
Let me ask you. I don't remember. Did they make it apparent that they get together?
Yeah, they drive.
They do.
Off.
Okay. Like the two. Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah.
They go together. She comes back for him.
Right.
And they go.
I counter you with they didn't make it And we open up the movie, and he is divorcing Lin Shaye. Like he actually ended up being a loser, a Munson, and he actually married the landlady.
I mean, she's still around. So the one thing I would counter,
Which that moment scared me so much as a kid.
Really?
When he looks in the back mirror, and I don't know why, but how they cut that thing, how they just like cut to her doing the like that was creepy.
And in the back of his car.
Yeah.
So
Lin Shaye is another thing that is cast across the movies too.
Yeah.
She's in a
I
couple.
love Lin Shaye. Like,
So,
I love she's getting her due for the Insidious movies, but this is like Lin Shaye. What is it about having great sex that makes you have to crap?
Yeah, such a great line.
Beautiful line.
That really is a great line.
The thing is, what makes this movie funny though is the whole fish out of water thing. You know, is the whole like him sitting in the urinal. You know, I mean, like every little part of like him, telling, being like, cigarettes. I can't smoke cigarettes or whatever. And him being like, listen, cigarette companies wouldn't sell them to you. You know, like if they.
What kind of business plan is that?
What kind of business plan is that?
Yeah.
And then he's just
cigarettes is a stimulant.
4 at a time. Yeah.
He's like, I can't have coffee. Coffee's a stimulant. He's like, cigarettes are a stimulant too. And he's like, okay.
Okay.
I got it. Well, there
2 sugars,
goes.
Lots of cream. Lots of cream.
Or the best is when he wakes up with the little 4-leaf clover tattoo. He's like, what did I do? Like I desecrated my body, this and that. He's like, it's just little, you burn it off, whatever. Then he's in the mirror looking at it, and then Woody Harrelson sees his back. Woody Harrelson sees his back.
Tattoo.
I will
with
say,
a mustache. With a mustache.
Yeah, that's the best stuff in this movie. Sorry.
One thing I always love about the Farrelly brothers is that stable of actors who are like always there. Like the one who's his brother, who's also in The Ringer, and he's in everything. Who plays Ishmael's brother. The bartender from Dumb and Dumber, who is, Stan in this, like those guys are fantastic. I would love to see them make a movie with just those guys, no movie stars.
And they also have the goon from 3 O'Clock High too.
Fucking Richard Tyson. Yeah, he is like one of their staple. Yeah, that's true.
Casey Says Me Echo movie me on this podcast.
Says Me Echo? Shamashko.
Hey, Shlemiel Shlema, something and incorporated. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Like,
I'm just saying, Charlie from Young Guns deserves more respect.
Exactly.
Young Guns. God,
he was incredible in Milk Money as the under pimp. He was like the consigliere pimp. That's a great
money. God, listen, like, can we just say it? The 90s were cool for just
Milk Money
is
a great movie.
Yeah,
that's all there is. We had Milk Money.
No, we had Nickelodeon. Theater. We had some things. We had a few things.
Listen, I'm just saying.
We had the X Games.
Movie studio would ever greenlit Milk Money today.
No, that's
the 90s. Could you do Milk Money?
You couldn't even get a Pretty Woman today.
No. I will say though, have you seen Good Boys? Good Boys is 1,000,000% the Milk Money of this generation.
I mean, 1,000,000%. Didn't they just do that weird? I didn't see it, but that weird movie with what's her name, Jennifer. Where she's basically like a parents try to get her to have sex with their son.
Completely bombed.
That bombed because in this day and age you can't make that kind of movie. But the reality is that movie would have been a 90s movie or would have been an 80s 90s movie.
Oh, if that was Patrick Dempsey.
They made 10 of those with Dempsey. Come on, 100%.
That type of comedy and this type of comedy can't be done today.
People don't want to see it. And
I never buy that. I hate when I
guess if it's done by the right actor, because the reality is like it depends on the actor or actress that's doing it. But like name me a movie nowadays that would sit just in that same, like non-PC kind of 90s kind of movie.
Yeah, Chris, I agree with you. Good Boys was really good. It was really funny, and I don't think anyone saw it.
I didn't see it.
Well, it was
okay.
very good. It's like a comedy. Like
It's
it was
excellent. It's one of the
really
best comedies I'd seen in years. And
Yeah,
honestly,
I think it was
I
good.
love Milk Money. Good Boys might be even better. Not to get too off topic though, but I will just say I hate when people say, "Oh, you can't do that now. You can't do this now. You can't do that now."
You
That
can.
is so not. You
Yeah.
can do anything. You could do
Of course,
anything.
you can
We
do
have
it, but-
shows about serial killers and gangsters, and like there are no rules except for fucking good taste. Like
No.
like
But
people are like, oh, you could never do All in the Family now. Like you had Tony Soprano, who is 10 times as racist as Archie Bunker ever was.
But that was in
teacher
and he
2020.
was the most beloved TV
That
dad in
was in
America for years.
2023. That was in 2023. That
I think
was
you could still do it, but you have to be able to have your finger to the pulse of what people want to see now with how they want to see it. Like
again,
you
You
could
can
do
go
anything,
edgier than you've ever been able to go.
but will
I've
it be
always
commercially
said that.
successful without the right people behind it or the right actors or the right scripts?
like the last what was the last R-rated comedy that did really well? You maybe even have to go like Superbad.
I hate to say it was The Hangover. I hate those movies. They're
Yeah,
so
but
subpar.
Superbad was around that time too. Like like a little before that.
But they made sequels to The Hangover, and that was after.
Correct.
you
Yeah,
know.
but but that's like those are the last like R-rated like real line crosser movies that I've seen in comedies wise that I've seen in a
Well, we
long
talked
time.
about that about this.
American
before.
Pie
I mean,
was
you
probably
can't-
one of the
you
last
can't
like
do
breaking
Revenge
the
of
bank.
You can't do Revenge of the Nerds. You couldn't do that script today.
No.
Well, you definitely couldn't do the fucking one scene.
Well, the
Yeah,
one scene
that's-
is that, but that's
The
like
rest of the
one-
movie you could do. The rest of the movie you could
Yeah, but that
absolutely
one
do.
scene is kind of what makes
That
movie
makes the
not
movie.
get streamed.
Yeah.
In a
Yeah.
weird way.
Well, for fucking good
Kingpin-
reason.
But
I love that movie.
Kingpin is actually pretty innocent. If you really if you ever actually watch Kingpin, there's
nothing really like
nothing really outrageous about it. I mean, probably the
No.
most outrageous thing is him sleeping with the landlady and her varicose veins scene.
or
Yes.
which I'm sure somebody would be like me.
or the fight between Vanessa Angel and Woody Harrelson. But it's a spoof.
Oh yeah, but that's so
That's
she
true.
just kicks the shit out of him.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah.
That's
what-
part of their that's a part of their brand of comedy for sure.
That
There are some
reminds
more
me so much Naked Gun now.
There are some more pitches in the chat, though. I want to say the great Alex Bonafonte, pitching genius pitches on the show since we began. His pitch, Vanessa Angel's whoring ways have produced a Munson played by Melissa McCarthy, who's trying to reconnect with the mother she never knew.
Wow.
I'm in. I'm already in. It continues.
Wow.
I
She's a
cannot
bowling-
stand.
All right.
ahead,
She's
go
a
ahead.
bowling phenom with poor manners and little marketability. After an embarrassing pan split incident on cable TV, Bill Murray provides the color commentary. The family reunites to enhance their daughter's image, and hijinks ensue. I love that. I'm 100% sold. Take my money. Yeah, Alex.
You
I
replace
didn't think
you
about
replace
that.
Melissa McCarthy, and I'm good.
He also says, to your point, Ian, no one reads anymore. Call me Ishmael. Quote from the famous book Moby Penis.
That's so funny. Yeah. That's what I
And
love.
I see we have
That was
Rob's
a great
vintage
joke, dude.
video in the live chat. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
tuning in. Come on the show, Rob. And also Alex as well. Come back. Kingpin 2, I'm down. Big Earn McCracken's Revenge is Rob's pitch. I'm down for that. Yeah, make it just the Big Earn story. Oh my God, that's brilliant. That is
Yeah, that is
Well, it
actually
has
pretty
to be
good.
better
So
than
brilliant.
The Man Who Knew Too Little.
Yeah, well, most things are.
Well, yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my
you could-
God.
you
yeah,
could-
there were
you
some
could, in
90s Murray. What was
theory-
the...
You can, in theory, do kind of like a prequel, kind of like a Big Earn in that 17 years that
the rise of Big Earn.
that Roy Munson was not
that
around.
like Carlito's Way, rise to power kind of
The only
thing.
problem-
you can even find out that maybe, just maybe, he set that whole thing up with Munson getting his hand smashed and everything.
So the only problem with that's great, but then you have to get somebody to try to portray Bill Murray. And I don't know if you saw that Dumb and Dumber sequel. That was
Yeah.
a prequel, but like those guys that they got, I think did a good job for what it's worth. It's not a good movie.
But,
But
you'll never
I
be
think
Jim
they did a
Carrey.
great
You'll never be
job
Jeff
in
Bridges.
They did a
bad
great
movie.
job in a bad movie, but at the same time, you're not going to be able to just follow Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels. It doesn't matter who you are, and it doesn't matter what you
No.
try to do. They did a
Correct.
phenomenal job of portraying those characters, but like you're trying to get somebody to be like, all right, so you're a young Bill Murray, go. Like,
Yeah.
playing Bigger and McCracken, it would be so difficult for anyone to follow. I just can't think of anybody.
unless you write it in such a way that's like, this is before he became that guy. He's going to become that guy by the end of the movie.
Oh,
But
okay.
this is like how he went from a completely different character that we're going to create into this guy.
Okay. That's
That
interesting.
could be interesting too.
Yeah.
What happened to him that made him such a fucking prick? You know what I mean? Like, I can't even imagine the kind of shit like young Big Earn must have fucking, his parents, or like whatever he was raised by, the bullers that fucked him over.
But I would also like, like a de-aged, like Bill Murray too. That would kind of be funny and weird at the same time.
Interesting.
I don't know about the age thing. I think it can be more distracting than anything. I think it's, we say it a lot on the show too. But I mean, I get it. Yeah. Like, you don't want to recast Bill Murray, and you don't want to, have someone try and do a Bill Murray impression. It's not going to be very good. But if you found an actor and you created a character that can transform into that, I think it would be interesting and could be.
I still like my pitch of like them, going for the ultimate revenge. They're back in Vegas nowadays. Bill Murray is his age now, kind of thing. Whatever.
I agree,
like
Mickey.
that
If there's a Kingpin 2, it's literally going to be a Kingpin 2. Like, you don't get new. It is Randy Quaid. It is.
What about this though? What if it's Big Earn's not revenge, but his redemption? What if he trains someone like, who's got a serious disadvantage, like, a missing hand or something, like, something similar to Roy, something that reminds him of Roy Munson, or it could be Roy's kid or something. And like, you have, I mean, I guess maybe it's too similar, in nature to the plot of the first movie, but
I think that's what makes the first one so great, or whatever. It's just the concept, that fish out of water story with this, like, if you took the roles and had Bill Murray playing the guy who's actually trying to redeem himself as teaching somebody like a young Randy Quaid was in that, in the same sense, that would work. Because I think you could at least kind of have the same vibe. You know what I mean? Like the same.
Yeah.
I still want him as the villain. I still want him as the villain.
Well, he is great. He is so good.
I don't want redemption for him. I want to see him get beat.
You know what? Screw this. I want Dan Aykroyd.
Just
give me Dan Aykroyd. I want somebody who wants to be there. I want somebody who enjoys being there.
Yeah,
give me Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah,
that's very.
I mean, what if you had a new guy who's way worse than Big Earn McCracken,
Dan Aykroyd,
way worse than like whatever.
Ray Zelinsky.
The two of them have
Zelinsky.
The two of them have
I
to
both strikes for the American working man because that's what I am. That's what
the two of them kind of have to team up.
If they do teams,
they have to team up to beat these guys who are way worse than Big Earn McCracken ever was. And then you could bring in anybody. You could bring in Dan Aykroyd and Robert Downey Jr. as the team.
McCracken is now not the top dog anymore.
No.
Yeah.
And literally he needs Munson.
Yeah. So Munson has to get him to get. So he has to be like, you're the only one I know that that could maybe take this.
I like that.
These guys on. Yeah.
That's fantastic. I love that. I think that's the one. I think we did it just in time too. So
you're welcome.
Yeah, well, internet, we do what we can. We always deliver.
That's right. We got months.
Also, just one last comment in the live chat. You want to catch him? Dustin Nino from Retro Fiend Radio, again, makers of the finest canon and martial arts docs on the internet, says, before I go, Richard Tyson will always be Colin Crisp to me. Also, Milk Money is a great movie. I love, the villain that says,
need to get my
trying to get a manicure.
It's 3:00 high for me.
Get out of here.
You know what? Some actors are pure actors and they do no wrong. He's one of those guys for me. Every time I see Richard Tyson, I'm like, that man's going to crush it. It's got that Eric Roberts thing. Like, I don't know if it's a Farrelly Brothers movie or it's fucking Red Shoe Diaries, but I know he's going to give 110% every goddamn time.
All the internet shows on the world, we're the only ones ever talk about Red Shoe Diaries.
That's
and the
true.
hitchhiker. And the hitchhiker.
Hitchhiker. Yeah.
For every time that you've mentioned silk stockings on this show,
I love silk stockings.
USA in 1995. I'm telling you, look at that TV guide.
We didn't deserve it.
Was the greatest entertainment channel ever.
Was that
doing everything
people-
you want?
Was that
Some
during the
people never
USA
get
Up
over
All Night?
heroin. Ian never got over USA Up All
I
Night.
did.
That's what it
That
was,
was
yeah,
my Friday, like, you know, like you had like, you know, like TGIF and like, but like I had like when I grew up more, I was like Silk Stalking Fridays.
On USA in 1995, you could watch Wings, American Gladiators, Porky's 2 the next day, freaking Silk Stockings, and somewhere at night, Class of Nukem High 2, Suburban Meltdown. Like,
All in
that
a-
is a
yeah.
channel, people.
That is in,
All
yeah.
right. I respect everything you just said. That is beautiful. Rarely can I say that on this show. But before we keep our guests up all night, do you guys have anything you want to let the people at home know about before we say goodbye? I see a
we're
bunch of
good on
silence.
my
So
end, yeah.
I'm assuming just
Sure.
follow everybody on social media.
Yeah,
Or what,
right.
Steve, you got something?
No. I was gonna say, you know, like Crash Romeo, CrashRomeo.com, you know, at Crash Romeo. You follow me at Crash Anderson. Records up on everywhere streaming music, new from this year. Go check it out.
Please read the B Movie article this week, the B Movie Challenge article on the Brain Eaters.
Nice.
Ooh, delicious.
That sounds awesome.
Mickey, tracks, anything coming up in the works?
Nothing right now, but like, you know,
All right.
keep streaming that, you know, Rick Barth in the Line, Incidents and Accidents. It's out there on all the streaming networks.
Nice.
Beautiful stuff. The 6-string Slayer strikes again. All right, guys. Well, you Fandom fans might want to come back next Wednesday at 9 p.m. when we get Oh So Petty for our Tank Girl episode. As always, if you enjoyed this video,
I'm into it.
oh, you
We're
fucking
doing
absolutely
Tank
know I
Girl,
am not.
even Ice Cube or Ice T or Ice F, whatever. They didn't even want to be in that movie. God.
It took us 123 other non-Tank Girl episodes to finally get to Tank Girl, so we can finally rejoice and celebrate, folks. As always, if you enjoyed this video,
director
the best
didn't
way
even
to help
watch
is
it,
to
he
smash
made
that
it.
like button and leave a comment telling us what movie or TV franchise that you want us to cover on a future episode of VCR Redux.
Not Tank
And
Girl.
since you're already doing that, you might as well go ahead and like, subscribe, and follow Fandom Spotlight, the Hollow 9 Network, and Pop Culture Punk. Till then, back up those Betamax, rewind those Laserdiscs, and we'll see you at the movies.
What a dumb movie, Tank Girl.